the next big foldable phone didn't just match the competition, but quietly beat it in the areas that matter most, like battery life, price, and raw power. That's the kind of promise Google's upcoming Pixel 10 Pro Fold seems to be making, based on a new leak that spills almost every key spec. The design, which was already leaked back in March, isn't a major departure from the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, but the real upgrades lie beneath the surface. For starters, it packs a massive 5,015 mAh battery, much larger than the 4,400 mAh unit inside Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 7, and even bigger than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold's own 4,650 mAh battery. That alone could be a huge selling point. Battery life is one of the biggest complaints in foldables, and if Google can stretch usage times without making the phone too thick or heavy, it might sway a lot of buyers. The Pixel 10 Pro Fold is also expected to be powered by the new Google Tensor G5 chip, paired with 16 GB of RAM across all models. No need to pay more for higher memory. Storage options will include 256 GB, 512 GB, and even 1 TB, giving users room to choose. On the display side, we're looking at an 8-inch primary organic light-emitting diode screen with a resolution of 2150 by 2076 pixels and a 120 Hz refresh rate, plus a 6.4-inch secondary OLED panel that also supports 120 Hz and can reportedly reach a peak brightness of 3000 nits. That's insanely bright and should perform well even under direct sunlight. On the camera front, the specs aren't changing much compared to the previous model, but they're still strong. A 48 megapixels main camera, a 10.5 megapixels ultra-wide lens, a 10.8 megapixels telephoto sensor with 5x optical zoom, and dual 10 megapixels front and cover cameras. While Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 7 might hold an edge with its 200 megapixels main camera, Google's camera software often makes a bigger impact than hardware alone. Another big win for the Pixel 10 Pro Fold is its IP68 rating, meaning it's fully dust-proof and can survive water submersion, something foldables have only recently begun to offer. Even with all these upgrades, Google is expected to price the phone competitively. Leaks suggest the Pixel 10 Pro Fold could cost between $1,599 and $1,799 for the base 256 GB model. What if Samsung's next big leap in smartphone photography doesn't come from a foldable, but from a sleek, flat flagship? That's exactly what might happen with the upcoming Galaxy S26 series, especially with the rumored Galaxy S26 Edge. According to early reports, Samsung is planning a major upgrade to the ultra-wide-angle camera, jumping from the 12-megapixel sensor used on the Galaxy S25 Edge and S25 Plus to a much sharper 50-megapixel one. That's more than 4 times the resolution and a serious step forward for those who care about wide landscape shots, group photos, or dynamic videos. This new camera setup is expected to appear the model internally known as NPA2, where NPA stands for Next Paradigm, a codename suggesting that Samsung wants to push things further while still building on the current design. Internally, the S24 series was known as Eureka, and the S25 was Paradigm. Now with Next Paradigm, Samsung may not be drastically redesigning its phones, but it's clearly focused on key upgrades that matter. If the rumors are right, Samsung might skip the Plus model entirely this time and instead position the Galaxy S26 Edge as a high-spec middle child between the base S26 and the powerhouse S26 Ultra. That would make the S26 Edge the spiritual successor to both the S25 Plus and S25 Edge, combining the best of both in one model. While the overall design language might remain familiar, this shift in camera hardware alone could give users a very different experience, especially if Samsung includes additional enhancements like better low-light performance or improved video stabilization. On the Ultra side, the S26 Ultra is expected to maintain its dominance with a 200-megapixel main camera and a 50-megapixel telephoto lens offering 5x optical zoom. There's still mystery around the rest of the Ultra's camera setup, but it's already looking like a serious tool for mobile photography. The base Galaxy S26 isn't left out either. Past leaks hinted that it could also see a camera upgrade, though details are limited for now. And while battery life and processing power haven't been fully revealed yet, it's safe to expect Samsung will bring improvements there too, especially since every new generation aims to be faster and last longer. So while the Galaxy S26 series might not bring a totally new look, the internal upgrades, especially in camera hardware, seem worth the wait. The camera jump alone could set a new standard for ultra-wide photos in the Android space. If Samsung truly replaces the Plus model with the Edge and gives it cutting-edge hardware, users will have one less confusing choice and a better phone in return. What if your next computer wasn't a bulky desktop or a heavy laptop, but a phone that folds in half and fits right into your pocket? That idea has now become a reality with the Galaxy Z Flip 7. Samsung's latest foldable phone is not only thinner and sleeker, but it also comes with something no other flip model ever had: support for Samsung DeX. That's the feature that turns your phone into a full desktop-like setup when connected to a monitor, TV, or other display. With DeX, you can open up a bigger screen version of your phone's interface, use a keyboard and mouse, and multitask like you're on a PC. So yes, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 can now double as a tiny, foldable computer, and that's a huge deal for users who want to do more with their phones. But here's where things got a little confusing at first. After the phone launched, many users thought it only supported wireless DeX because in the new One UI 8, the DeX Quick Toggle was renamed to Wireless DeX, and the setting that usually lets DeX auto-start when you connect an HDMI cable was missing. That made it seem like wired DeX wasn't available at all. But it turns out that's not true. Thanks to some hands-on testing with an older Samsung DeX dock, it's been confirmed that wired DeX still works on the Galaxy Z Flip 7, so if you prefer a stable, faster connection for serious work, you can still plug your phone into a display and use it like a traditional computer. Samsung just didn't make it obvious. Wireless DeX is convenient and cable-free, which is great if you're on the go or just want to cast your screen to a TV, but it's not perfect. It often comes with lag, slower response times, and the performance just isn't the same. Wired DeX offers better speed and reliability, especially when handling heavier tasks. However, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 isn't as powerful or heat-efficient as the Galaxy Z Fold 7, which means you won't get the absolute best DeX performance. The Flip 7 does run on the Exynos 2500 chip, and its slightly larger body might have helped Samsung finally add DeX without running into overheating problems that affected previous models. Until now, Samsung had avoided adding DeX to the Flip lineup, saying the internal structure wasn't good enough for heat management. But with this year's design changes, that issue seems to be partly solved. That said, if your main reason for buying a phone is to use DeX every day, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is still a better option overall. It has better specs, better cooling, and supports both wired and wireless DeX clearly and smoothly. Still, giving DeX to the Flip 7 is a big step in the right direction.